Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, the Breakfast Bankroll. From Cape Cod to Cancun, from Vegas to the Vatican, we got you covered from start to finish, from opening lines to closing lines, the shop report, the public, what to do and what not to do. But today is Thursday, and what better way to get closer to the weekend than with our good friend, the real Vegas Dave himself, Mr. Dave Sharapan. Dave, my brother, how are you?
JD, what's up, man? I mean, we get dialed in here. When I hear that music, I get a little fired up. Me and you already, I was up before the sunrise. I know you were as well. We're looking at stuff. We're doing some things, talking, even getting some gas at the gas station. I mean, it never stops.
Hashtag girl dad.
Damn right.
A million spots that we can start here. Two baseball teams on life support right now. The Red Sox going back to Houston down 3-2 now. The Dodgers down 3-1, and a place that they were last year. But this is a different Atlanta Brave team. This is a Max Fried that's been firing on all cylinders against a Dodger bullpen that's a little taxed right now. So I think the two nations, Red Sox Nation and Dodger Nation, two different animals right now, where I think the Dodger Nation feels comfortable and content. Hey, we got the Giants. We finally got past them. We're exactly where we want to be, wink, wink. We've been here, done that. Let's win today and worry about Atlanta on Saturday and Sunday. Red Sox Nation, after game 3, as I've said to you off the air, series was over. We're heading to the World Series. Let's get the duck boats now, and let's, get the parade route ready, because it's not if, but it's when. So you decide where you want to start here.
Well, first of all, it's going around social media, and you know what everybody's doing on the social media, and they're all saying the same words. There's all these fancy words about this being the sports equinox, when all the sports are playing. And I was like, I seen all this stuff this morning. I'm like, every October this happens. Like, there's all the sports playing. So, we got to touch on a little bit of everything. We'll start with the baseball. I had to go get the Braves hat for the appearance today, because it feels like Braves are going to win this series. It really does. The odds makers don't think so. They keep making the Dodgers the favorites. They showed up yesterday with Urias minus 220. Whoo! Come back today. You see it this morning, minus 140. A little bit lower. But Fried is still the dog. TBD doesn't do it for me with the Dodgers right now. They're scrambling, and TBD for the rookies, that means to be determined. That's who's starting for the Dodgers today in that game. Yikes. I think they're in trouble. I really do. This is one of those ones where, I selfishly, I want to see the Dodgers play the Red Sox. I just think the storylines are better, but the storylines don't win the games. The teams win the games. Baseball, at this time of year, it's tough to predict. We got to have Atlanta and Houston for a World Series. It's going to be great from a baseball fan's perspective. It's definitely going to be less handle than it would be if it was Boston, East Coast, LA, West Coast, all the storylines involved. Sometimes you don't get the best stories, you get the best games. And, yesterday's game wasn't good. It wasn't good. Either game really wasn't good games, unless you had the overs, which those ended up being good there. So, in the gambling, you can find a bunch of different ways to either attack this thing, enjoy the games, or make plays. I don't know, JD. Atlanta and the Dodgers are playing today. So the first thought is that. Okay, I'm leaning Atlanta. Still haven't determined what, how can you pick the total right now when you don't know who's starting? They're going to throw it together. So I think one lesson is to make as best informed decisions as you can, and you understand that the results are the results. You can't control the results. As far as the Boston Red Sox, I want to see this team win as much as anybody. I mean, I do. They can't hit. It don't matter. I mean, like, Sale was pitching so good. I'm watching the game. He's coming off the mound, screaming in his glove. I'm like, dude, let's get this guy 2 runs. I think all we need is 2 right now. And then we'll hand it off to the bullpen and live. Can't get 1. Couldn't get no runs. That's the thing I don't think anybody's talking about. This is what happens in the playoffs, right? Somehow the pitching, despite as bad as it was for the Astros in the beginning of the series, they figured it out in the last 2 games. The Red Sox didn't hit. It's baseball. Is the series over? Hell no, it's not over. Does it feel like it's over? Sure does. But you people up in Boston are crazy. You're all nuts. You swing so much extremes. What do we do every day, JD? We just talked about this morning. I told you, we just show up. Like, the level-headedness of so many people want to take things from sports gambling. You know what you can do? Stay like this. You flatline. You enjoy the win, come right back. You get kicked right in the teeth. You know, you had Cleveland on last Sunday against Arizona. I did too. How could they lose? They got killed. You down here because of it? No. You're looking at the next game the next day. You rip the page out just like your calendar every day. I see that calendar tweet every day. It warms my heart every day. Whose birthday is it? And then you rip it off and enjoy the day. That's what you got to do in the game.
And Red Sox Nation just it kills me. It's the Boston fans, and our buddy Matt Perrault knows this well. I mean, he's lived here, breathed this. You're an East Coast guy as well. But what kills me is this: the Sox were dogs against the Yankees. They won.
Yep.
The Sox were big dogs against the Rays.
Yep.
They won. Once the Sox became favorites after Game 3,
yep,
Red Sox Nation just doesn't know how to handle it. They expected us to win Game 4, expected us obviously to win yesterday. Cora's the fault. Fire Cora. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? Why'd you pull Pavetta and let Sale pitch? And guys, sit on the sidelines, zip it, because you were nowhere to be found earlier, and enjoy the ride. Enjoy it.
So this is, I guess, the nature of sports. And when you bet and you become involved financially, you even feel like you can say more. And you don't know what's going on in the dugout. Listen, I don't know why he took out Pavetta either, but I mean, I can't question it because he's got him there. Like, you know,
third time around.
Right. But sometimes do you think, because I'm watching these games too, and I'm still coaching the kids and I'm still doing all this stuff. Sometimes, like, these books say to do this, or this card says to go for it on 4th down in football. Do you think they're starting to rely a little too much blindly on the analytics? Because, like, in the book, I can put all the stuff in a model in a computer and get all these algorithms and they can tell me the number, but I know, because I've been there, to trust my gut. I could be wrong, but I know that number is wrong, or I know Pavetta is dealing. I'm going to give him a shot to go through the 3rd time through the order because it's sports, and I get to measure this as well as my curveball. And if he gets me 3 more outs, that's 1 less inning for the bullpen. And I'm in Houston's head. Wow, he left this guy in. Like, sometimes you got to come out of the book, just in life, right? Like, you can't play it by the same rules every time, all the time. You can, and ideally, if the book's right, the information's right, you're going to win more. But sometimes, JD, you don't know why. And I'm not one to question him. He's the manager of the team. He's in the dugout. He knows. If you ask him afterward, privately, he might say, you know what? I messed up. But either way, it's down 3-2, not over. You know, tell these people, have a coffee and a donut and get excited again about the game.
Go back to Pavetta 3rd time around and then go to Sale yesterday. I talked about it with the 1 inning against Tampa. I talked about it in the 2 1/3 or 3 innings the first time against the Astros. I really thought he would get you to that fifth inning. And if you look at it standing back, Dave, he knew he'd get no resilience from Pavetta. Hey, you did what you had to do. It's the third time around. I'm taking it out of your hand. There was no way in hell Chris was going to allow him to take it out of his hand.
Hell no.
It was no way.
No. And I think, like, as fans, and like, you got the first 5 bet, you want them to stay in, you got the game under, you want them to stay. Like, there's so many things people forget that we look through as gamblers, let alone fans, through different colored glasses. Like, geez, I had the Red Sox, I could manage it better. Like, stop. Everybody just stop. Enjoy the games for what they are. Sometimes you throw your best pitch and they hit it in the gap, and you're like, how is that possible? Sometimes you do everything right. You played poker back in the day. You play fantasy leagues. You set the perfect lineup, and you go against Derrick Henry. It don't matter. You got your optimum lineup in, and you still lose. Like, this is life, man. You just got to keep going and going forward. I want to see Boston win tomorrow so bad. So there's a game 7, because I just love game 7s. That immediacy of game 7 and the gravity of the loss, we're done, and the win, we get to play for the big trophy. It's awesome.
Here at ECSI, 4-0 this week.
Yes.
12-3 our last 15. Nobody knows shit, though. Remember that.
That's it. You're rolling right now. I love it.
Had the Astros yesterday, everyone. Yeah, the
Yes.
Bostonian here had the Astros. The numbers said the Astros. And I said
No
it
doubt.
on the timeline yesterday. I was like, because Portnoy spins a 3-team Boston parlay, boosted Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics. And I retweeted and I says, I know for a fact there's at least one loss on this.
No doubt.
The Bruins fans jump out, and I said, don't worry, it's not you. And then the Celtics fans jump out. I say, listen, Bruins and Celtic fans, wink, wink, I'm not talking about you. Numbers said it was the Astros. And as you know, and all our family and clients know, it's not about the logo. It's not about the names on the back. It's strictly a numbers game, reading the sports market. Take your heart, your ego out. Take all your betting angles. What they did for you last week, the last 10 years, I could give a rat's ass.
Yep.
Period. It's what the market is telling you today.
That's it. That's all you can do. I mean, we got the Consig girls. They're all in with the Red Sox and the Dodgers. They want to see the matchup too. I've been taking a picture every day. I let her pick what jersey she wants to wear. She ain't home from school in time. And she's like, are we taking the picture today? And I'm like, well, did you see the line? I said, I think I might be right if I'm wearing the Astro stuff. I said, do you want to wear the Astro stuff? And she's like, hell no, I'm not wearing that Astro stuff. And I said, all right, you know what? Then maybe we shouldn't take the picture because you're rolling and you're exploding here on social media. I don't want to taint your record because God forbid all these people on social media that like to talk about their records actually put their real records. We don't want to talk about that. So I said to her, all right, we don't have to take the picture today, but I like Astros. I think the Astros are going to win. And she's like, well, how could you say that? Don't you want to see the Red Sox win? I'm like, hell yeah, I do, but I wouldn't bet it. I said, this is the part of the business that you have to learn and understand. And I think as rookies, as veterans, when it's your team, sometimes it's better just to not make a play. But if you can, get through the fandom and go, this is the right play. This is the right play.
Before we move on to the football game later today, I had to show you this. This is from Don Best.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the game. The Dodgers opened up at 142, minus 142. Currently at Pinnacle 142. Our friends at the South Point, Chris Sanders, Jimmy Vaccaro, toting up nice 140. Westgate at 140, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I want you to move your eyes further down. MLB series prices right now. Astros, anywhere from minus 390 to 405.
Oof.
and the Braves right now minus 450. Um, can you? Is there a way to dive in here and take a logical swing? Obviously, you're not going to take one of the favorites, but if you had to jump in and you weren't involved in any of these series, do you see an opportunity here, Dave?
So, I mean, I have to get a parlay calculator to really figure it out and kind of pencil it out. But Dodgers are minus 140 right now. They'll be, depending on the pitching matchup, small favorites in Atlanta both times. So minus 140, minus 120, minus 130, say, and do a parlay calculator and add that up. It's going to be a hell of a lot more, I think, than plus 350 on the Dodgers. So I think the series price is short there. And I mean, I'm looking here on FanDuel. They're 6-1 to win the World Series. They should be 6-1 to win the next 3 games. Like, you might have to roll it to get 6-1. Like, so you have to understand the prices for stuff to know whether it's worth it or not. Now, again, it can still win, but you want to get educated and talk about investing like you do than just, firing darts. Unless you just want to throw darts, you can do that. I don't even think the American League, I can't yet advocate a play. I mean, plus 105 in game 6 and maybe about the same in game 7. I don't even know what the pitching matchup would be, but I think the Red Sox series price at plus 330, plus 340, plus 320. I think that's actually more fair. So if you're looking to take Boston and you want to take them in the series, you get that plus 330 price, right? Let's work with me here. They win game 6. Then you come back with a bet on Houston in game 7 at minus 115. Laying minus 115 and taking 320. JD, we can retire if we get to do that for a year. That'd be 1 year. Give us the bag. We'll be fine. And then we'll give the bag back. We'll have enough. And we'll go sit at the beach.
Our friend Jeff Sherman at Westgate Superbook, where my backdrop is today, kind of tipped his hand. Houston minus 105 to win the World Series, and the Braves plus 170.
Mm-hmm.
So if we had that series, which is where we're leaning towards, what do you think of that opening number, Dave?
Obviously it depends if Atlanta gets it done now tonight and can sit and then set up the rotation perfectly. It is a coin flip series. And Atlanta, well, I think would have the pitching edge. Houston's lineup is amazing. So I don't know. Houston, very small favorite. I think Houston would have home field, and that would be the tipping point as far as the number. Now, after that, we'll see what the betting market takes us. I think at that close to, pick 'em range, I think we'll see bad guys come in on Houston myself. But I think I would favor Atlanta. How about you?
I think at that point with the 2-3-2, it made the mistake. I'll be honest with you. We waited for game 1 on the Atlanta, assuming Atlanta was going to win that. We jumped in on the Dodgers plus the minus 155.
Mm-hmm.
And then after they lost that, you were able to get them at plus 160.
Oh.
So had that. So you're basically 2-1 and was sitting in the catbird seat if they won, obviously, last night.
Right.
You're going to get then Atlanta at that plus 180 number, and we could have played that game that you were talking about. So I think we can usually say this in the NBA. There's always a game 6 and there's usually a game 7. I think MLB, with the Red Sox set up for Friday, would love a Dodger win tonight to at least know
yes,
that there'll be baseball on Friday and Saturday. And we'll see what happens on Sunday. Switching gears to the NFL, no Baker, no Hunt, no Chubb. No problem. I mean, 2, 3, and 3 teams. The real computer line was 6 before all these injuries. You got Pinnacle sitting right now at 1, South Point 2, Westgate and some of these other places at 1. Case Keenum, defense is good for Denver. Who's going to run the ball? Dearness Johnson, Mr. Felton. They're going to need a big game from their defense versus Teddy Bridgewater, who doesn't make a lot of mistakes. What's your thoughts going into tonight's game in the NFL?
Well, sometimes the odds makers miss, or sometimes things happen like, Baker can't play and the number has to crash. And doesn't always win. It's not that easy. Like you said, no Chubb, no Baker, no. Do you say no problem? Sure. Just don't even play the game. Just pay all the Denver tickets, pay the under. I mean, we got a total that's at 40 or 40 and a half. It's going to be a boring, low-scoring game. That Denver's going to win. Easy, apparently. And then from the years in the book and taking all these bets in a situation like this, I'm thinking, I don't like the game. I have no interest in it, not putting it in no contest picks, nothing. But this would be the one I'd be sitting there at work all day waiting to get to the baseball game to start so I could watch that and taking bet after bet after bet after bet on Denver going, we're going to need Cleveland for a nice size amount today. Well, that's where the book is in pretty much every place in the country, including in Cleveland. So I like Cleveland. I mean, and again, it doesn't mean it's right. I just know that I don't know no other way in situations like this. Either, you'll know 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes into the game. You'll be like, boy, I wish Case would have got a little more reps this week, but or you're going to go, we're going to be fine, which, for me, that's one of my sayings. Like, all right, I got Cleveland. I'm good. Whatever happens, happens. I just want to know in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game that I have a shot. Because when you don't, then you can just, by 5 o'clock my time, I'll be watching baseball exclusively. That's perfect. Good. We're good.
And I'll take it a step further. Over 1,600 people like myself, like yourself, in the circa millions had the Cleveland Browns beating Arizona.
Yeah.
And we knew early we got worried. Okay. We got worried. So the thought process simply where my head is again, it's a game you don't have to get involved in. You're correct. But in the same token, if you had Cleveland Sunday against an undefeated Arizona team, the only play that you can have tonight, if you were to invest a wager in it, is the Browns, in my eyes.
No doubt. And as hard as that is for a lot of people to realize, you got to come back on it because now you flip-flop. You take Denver, you get it today, you get the worst number because it was 6, and now you're taking 1. And then halfway through the second quarter when you're down 17-7 and they're driving, the Browns are driving to kick another field goal or touchdown and go up big. And you're going, what did I do? Why did I do that? Like I should have known. I didn't see it. And I should have seen it. So, no, I'm with you. It's Denver, it's Cleveland or nothing. There's nothing at this point that would make me want to take Denver. Nothing. It's either Cleveland or pass.
I wanted to bring up one other game before we jump over to college.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This past Sunday, NFL all giddy because they were going to get Russ traveling to your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Monday night prime game, and they get Geno Smith versus old Big Ben. And Pittsburgh first half players, congratulations.
Yep.
14-0 at half, game's over. You're just standing in line waiting to cash the ticket. I'm waving over to Chris. Hey, Chris, all these guys want to cash that ticket at halftime. You guys open yet to cash that? And then in comes back to a little Joe. And, of course, all the Seattle +5 guys are rewarded. Now, what's comical is this. Monday night, this Monday night, you got a Saints team coming off a bye.
Yep.
playing the Bucks next week, which a lot of the public and degens probably didn't look that far. Traveling to Seattle, still with Geno Smith. And here's where I'm shocked. The actual opening line was 3. The shops pounded it overnight. The public line was 4.5 and 5. Can you explain that to me? I mean,
Nope.
in other words, you were getting Seattle +5 at a Pittsburgh team. Now Vegas is giving you Seattle +5 at home with the 12th man. Are they making a stance there saying, hey, we're not going to get crushed here by the Saints?
I think so. I think sometimes I swear that initial move when the number comes out is a fake move. It's the head fake. That's the play to push the number because you can, because the limits are so low, but they're low enough that you don't have to invest that much to get it to move. And then a lot of other books somehow with their team of odds makers and algorithms and all these people come up with the same number. It's a miracle every single week how after a number opens at one book in the world, Sunday, NFL is usually Westgate, and college is Circa. And some offshore books do it too, and that's fine. But everybody arrives by Tuesday at the same number. Blows my mind.
Copy and paste.
That's apparently that's right in along with the micro markets. That's one of the things. I agree with you. I liked Seattle at Pittsburgh getting 5. Now I'm in Seattle against New Orleans, and I'm getting 5 or 4.5. If you're fooling me, you got me, because I said it on my shows. When I host Cash Considerations, and then every other show that I went on, I think Seattle with Geno Smith is a good play. I'll say it again, JD. I think Seattle with Geno Smith is going to end up being a good place Monday night.
The Saints have been every other week. Win on the odd week, lose on the even weeks.
Yes.
And this is supposed to be the losing week, and now you throw in the bye and the peekaboo. Hey, you know what? I know we're playing if the Saints got pummeled on Monday night, I think Vegas might be happy because everyone's going to run to the window. Bucks -3 and a hook in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And here comes the odd week, and the Saints win outright.
Yeah. Yeah. And we talk about these kind of in that tongue in cheek, like, this is what's going to happen. Oh, this is the way it's scripted. We just use the terms. We don't know because, like you said, nobody knows shit. But we kind of do because we've been seeing it so long and doing it so long. And you called it the peekaboo. I love that. I'm going to steal that from you. I'll give you credit for it, though. Unlike other people that steal your stuff and don't give you credit. That's a whole nother thing. But I'm going to say the peekaboo. What's that mean? That means the game that's next. Do you think that players are thinking about it? Maybe some are, maybe some aren't. But will it affect the way you handicap games? Absolutely. Why should it? Is it foolproof? No. But is it 20 years in the making proven? Yes. When you have a big divisional game coming up the week after, and you're playing a game where you're on the road and it's a far trip, they know that. Okay. You got to consider it. It has to come into some sort. You can't dismiss it. Let's put it that way. How much weight you give it, that's on you. But the peekaboo is a real thing.
All right, we're going to change gears here.
You are steering this ship, JD. Let's go. What's next?
I got to go over to here if my mouse will let me do it, and it's not letting me do it. Hold on. Producers, where's my producer?
What are you looking at, NBA or college?
I moved over to college for you.
Okay. Yeah.
There's some Thursday and Friday night games. I don't know if anything jumped out at you, but what I really wanted to talk about was on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Something that hasn't happened in forever. It is rotation number 343, 344, 3:30 kickoff. Clemson travels to Pittsburgh.
They do.
Clemson is a 3.5-point underdog.
They are.
I think they said Clemson hasn't been an underdog since 2014. Now, we were on the Pittsburgh train last week against Vodtech. Quarterback is starting to put that Pickett. He is putting some games together. Haven't been on the Clemson train. They squeaked one out against Syracuse last weekend. I know. Actually, I don't know. So I'm going to you about this. Thoughts? Hey, listen, what a spot to get Clemson as a dog. I mean, Jesus. Or if you're not really following what Pittsburgh is doing, they got a pretty decent team here. Any thoughts on that game? Well, tell me what Vegas is saying in that game.
We got Pitt is 5-1. They're 5-1 against the spread. Clemson, a little bit different. 4-2 straight up. 0-6 against the spread. Have yet to cover a game this season. Not due to the fact that they're not trying, not due to the fact that they're not winning. They've been favorites. They can't cover the number. I think we get caught up in who a team is and what their brand is rather than sometimes seeing what's happening on the field. See it in the pros with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're favored every week. They got one of the worst records in their last 10 or 15 games in the NFL because they can't cover. But people still bet them because they got the cool uniforms. They got Patrick Mahomes. And, they win games. They just don't cover. And then when they don't, they're still favored and they lose. Great game. This is a great game. And it's a next step level game for Pitt. Huge game. Huge. Clemson, man, I watched a lot of that game last week against Syracuse. Something wrong with that offense, JD. Something wrong. I mean, they just cannot score. There's no continuity. It looks like something is missing. I don't know what it is. Obviously, it's Trevor Lawrence. He's in Jacksonville. He covered up and helped a lot of things. Not to say that the kid there now is no good. It's just not the same, and they're really struggling to score. Personally, I think the best play here is under, which, when you scan across, the best number is 48 right now. It's pretty much painted 48. There's maybe 148.5 you can find. I think it's circa. There it is. Yep. But I'm leaning Pitt in the game. And that's more heart than anything. I'm a Penn State guy. I went to Penn State. I love Penn State. I was a Pitt guy first. Dan Marino was one of my first guys I admired. I couldn't believe. I used to go to the stadium and watch him play. I mean, he was one of us, so it was a cool thing. So I'm rooting for Pitt to do well. But I think they can win this game. But the numbers tell me exactly what you said. I get Clemson as a dog. Is it that easy? I don't know. I don't think it is. You get so many questions with the game. But it's one I definitely want to watch on Saturday.
We have an email. We send out emails. I talked to you earlier this week about this. We have a block of emails, anywhere from 15, 10, 25,000 that we send out Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Mondays. We started this 3 weeks ago. A free play to introduce ECSI to everyone. Nice. On the email list, going through our database and just trying to reintroduce ourselves. Say, hey, guys, we're over here. We're still working. We're your very own sports broker if you're looking for one. 10-2 the last 12. We've won 7 in a row. Anyone listening that cares to jot this down, on Saturday, we bought Louisville at 6. We bought the hook to 5.5 against the Boston College. We were on NC State against Boston College. And let me tell you something. Boston College has a hell of a team. They have they're 4-2 this year. If they didn't lose their quarterback, I'm telling you, this would have been a team in the ACC, especially with Clemson down. And a Louisville team that lost to opening day to Ole Miss. They lost to Wake Forest, and then they lost to I think it was Western Michigan. They lost they got upset pretty bad on one of the games. But my point is here, anyone listening, and if you can get 6 now, by the hook. We sent out to 25,000 people a free play, and I don't give a lot of these out, so I'm just spreading the wealth here. We're on Louisville -5 and a hook, 3:30, no, 4 o'clock on Saturday. Take a look at that. But what I wanted to follow up with your Penn State, a lot of talk about your coach.
Yeah,
he has, quote unquote, the option LSU or USC if he wants it. Now, I don't know with your friends back home, your family back home, what contacts you have. Is he locked and tied, not leaving the whiteout, staying with Penn State? Or if LSU or USC both came with the bag, maybe you know something, or maybe you might have a little intel there.
I just keep saying this. What is going to make a guy leave one of the best jobs in the country? I think Penn State overall is a great job, and he's a Pennsylvania guy. He's a girl dad. He's got 2 daughters. Sound familiar? Wife happy, kids happy. I'm happy. You guys like it here? I'm going to learn to like it here. I like it here anyway. This is where I'm from. You all want sunshine? We'll go to USC. You want, some Cajun cooking? We'll go down to LSU. But the best part about it, and I talk about this with one of my dearest friends who loves to stir the controversy, but also has a good take on reality. He goes, you know what this is? The money isn't changing one day of their lives. Guys like Belichick, you know what they do? They get paid, they get the bag, they get up at the crack ass of dawn, and they drive to the office. They watch film, they do practice, they watch more film, they do meetings, they sleep in the office, or they drive home late, heat up a cold pizza in the microwave, eat real quick, crash, get up and do it again. He could do it in L.A., he could do it down at LSU, or he could do it in State College. It's where you want to be around your family and do it. So I don't think he's leaving. I mean, unless somebody, what are they going to do? Double his salary? No, they're not. I want Franklin to stay and take Penn State. I mean, you're competing against Ohio State and Michigan. It's hard. But you got the squad, you got the teams, you got the recruits. The guy's a great recruiter, he's a great CEO. I don't think he's going anywhere other than he better be covering that number on Saturday. It's a big number, 23, and the total's 46. That's a math problem. The total is only twice what the side is. Very rare situation. And again, we talk about correlated parlays, like favorite and over in that situation is a correlated parlay. Dog and under, meaning if one happens, the other one is very likely to happen. So if you can put them together, you're getting 2.6 to 1 odds on a 2-game parlay. That's probably should be a lot higher because the likelihood of it happening, because very rare is a favorite going to win and cover the 23 and not go over 46. So I don't know, man. I hope he stays. I enjoy. It's fun now to really go back and enjoy Penn State football. I haven't been back to a game in years. I'm going to go back very soon. Hopefully, it would be great to do it this season, but a little busy right now, trying to do some other things. But I will get back there. It's a great place to go watch a game. It's so much fun, and if you get a chance to go to school there, it's a pretty cool place to go to school too. I'm not gonna lie. It was a blast.
My youngest, Kylie, that's one of her schools, so we'll keep you up on. And also talking about peekaboo, I think you have a big game next week, don't you? Penn State?
Yeah.
Who's it?
Yeah. Isn't it Ohio State week next week?
I think it is.
Yeah. It's a bit, again, it's a gigantic number considering that. And that, do you think, I'll throw this back at you, do you think that has more of an impact in college or pro?
Oh, that's a great question. I notice it more in college. I think the kids tend to get a little sloppy. Now, back in my heyday, I mean, I only coached Division III women's basketball, okay? But there was, when the schedule came out, You circled the Emmanuels. You circled the Salem States of the world. We played Penn State pretty hard one year. So these kids know. So on a Thursday night when they're playing Norfolk State, and then on Saturday, in comes Michigan. You know what I mean? So two things scare me. The peekaboo, and what are they doing Friday night? Are they at the keg party? Are they at the bars? Are they getting all lathered up for the game on Saturday? Or are they back taking it easy, getting ready for that Saturday game so they can let loose Saturday night?
I don't know if we're old, if we're kindred spirits, brothers, whatever it is. I agree with you 100% as far as college versus pro. The kids are still kids. In the pros, it's a job. They turn the page. There was a great movie called North Dallas 40 back in the day. When you say it's a job, I say it's a game. When I say it's a game, you say it's a job. Back and forth. This is the thing with the look ahead. They know they're playing Ohio State next week. They've known they're playing Ohio State the week before Halloween since the time the schedule came out. You got to get up for Illinois this week. I don't know. Is it homecoming week? I don't know. Sometimes you schedule the bunny on homecoming, where you get the win. This might be homecoming week. It's a fun week at Penn State. I can tell you personally at Penn State, the kids get put in a hotel the night before. So there ain't nobody in their dorms or their own apartments. Teams are all together Friday night. They stay in a hotel. They go to the game together. It's a scary spot. Let's put it that way. They win the game, obviously. They're not getting upset by Illinois. But quarterback questions, a lot of things happening up at Penn State. Not in a hurry to lay 23. Not in a hurry.
We will close on the frozen pond.
Do some hockey.
We're going to talk some hockey here. 2 nights ago, ECSI on the Panthers at Tampa.
Winner.
Nice win last night. And left the Caps on the desk. Everyone knew about them against Colorado. They go box to wire there. Last night, the Blues at Vegas, 3-1 win. We were on that. The market has been. I talked to a few clients, and they're like, Jeff, I hate when they say this, but it's too easy, meaning they're giving us some clear signs. It's like during college basketball, it's almost like we read the market 24/7, Dave. And when you're rolling, it's just fish in a barrel.
Yep.
And then they show you the same stuff, and it's not winning. So you take your hits. Your eyes aren't deceiving you. You're seeing what you're seeing, and you're playing what you're supposed to play. They're not coming in.
Right.
Then the hard part comes. You're seeing what you're seeing. It's not coming in. You either pass or go on the other side.
Right.
And we're not wired that way.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing the board out to you. It's Thursday night. You're going to have the Dodgers. You're going to have the NFL. Maybe Vegas wasn't sharp enough today to really tighten up the screws on the hockey. Are you seeing anything really float your boat tonight?
I got to be honest. I hadn't really. So I'm looking at it all for the first time right now with you, and this is good because I can kind of walk you through when I look at the lines. Okay, so the Islanders look like a very good hockey team to me. I don't know if they look minus 140 good on the road at Columbus good. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking of I have the schedule like you have it on your screen. I have it on the left, but I have me and you blocking the rest of the lines. So I don't see it. So I go, okay, minus 125. And then I open it up. I'm like, oh, minus 140. Okay. I must be either a little light or I'm right and they're a little high. And I do that and go through the games. So, there's a couple games. San Jose, Ottawa, kick it out. No interest, no idea yet. Carolina, Montreal, same thing. I can't figure out what to make of the Canadians. I would make Carolina probably a significant favorite there, and it's probably lighter than it should be. So I would say, Carolina minus 125, and then I move everything around on my screen, and I see, oh, wow, okay, minus 115, that's minus 120. So that's close. Looking at the board, Colorado, Florida is a playoff game pretty much, which I like. It's not really a playoff game, but it's a game that will look like a playoff game. Very competitive, coin flip almost game. Man, you get down to the bottom, the West Coast games, geez. Anaheim, Winnipeg. Winnipeg. What is this line? That's juicy. Whoa. Wow. I know Anaheim's supposed to be bad, but minus 180? Minus $2 for Winnipeg? Seems very high to me, JD. Vancouver, a much better team than I think people think or know about, and you can catch a lot of pluses with them early on. I like them at Chicago. We got to know the goalies. One of the most important pieces of information in sports gambling during hockey season is the goalie information. If you can get it, if you have it, there's sites that do it. Between goaliepost.com, Left Wing Lock, all these different sites are literally tweeting out who's starting in goal. And it's still not 100%, but when they're close they're very close. So you got to know that.
What was the goaliepost.com? What was the other one you said?
Left Wing Lock. Lock.
I love the lock word, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Left Wing Lock. Well, that's that. I mean, that's a hockey term for like the trap. So left wing lock. I don't think that means anything with gambling locks, which we know. We don't want to use that word in a gambling. As soon as you lock something up, you look like our boy Trent. Trent at you on Book It Sports. Trent, my man, he's on a run of all runs. Is he not? He's beyond entertaining. And I text with him too, and I'm like, dude, like, it's funny that you took this turn because you're picking losers better than anyone in the world could be picking winners. And he's doubled his Twitter following in like a week. He's blowing up on the TikTok and social media. Good for him. I'm waiting for Trent. If we can find out who's Trent's playing, we're playing the other side.
It's amazing. I mean, I haven't seen Mr. Poison yet. There was even the bartender's he's taking a back seat now.
Yeah.
Trent. And there's another one, Fade something. But yeah, it's amazing what happens when we get into these situations. And someone called him out the other day on it. It was comical. It was like I think he had 2 units on this, 2 units on that. And someone says, Trent, where the hell are you getting these units? You got to be out of units by now.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes the best unit is one that you take off. You leave the unit at home and you go for a walk or just take the day off. But he's doing the thing on the social. I give him credit all the time. He was on the podcast with me. We got to have you on again. It's been a year since you were on the podcast. I was going through the guest list, and I'm like, it's been 1 year, so we'll have you on with Carl and Newbie, and we'll chop it up. Hopefully we'll be talking about the Red Sox in a World Series. I mean, I'm hoping, but I want them to do it, but I don't think they can. I don't know. I really want them to, Jeff.
You had an opportunity. The key. We talked about this. Coming back to Boston 1-1, Atlanta had no guarantee to get back to Houston. So when you won game 3, you're up 2-1. I'm sorry, getting back to Houston. So you're up 2-1, and Houston still doesn't know if they're making it back home yet. And it wasn't the loss in game 4. It was actually the 9th inning where you let them put up a touchdown and an extra point.
Yeah.
Where they said, not only are we going back to Houston, baby, we're back.
Yeah.
And the Sox can flip that switch as well. I'm hoping as well. I want to see, let's get that win tomorrow. And as you said, get that game 7. And the same with the Braves and the Dodgers. Let's get a 6 and a 7, hopefully, because as you and I both know, the football will take the back burner, and it does. I send the snapshots on the timeline. Listen, I have a grand old time. I got 8 games going thanks to the DirecTV mix. I got on a Saturday, you got college football, I got baseball, I got hockey. Now you got a basketball game.
Yep.
I got it all covered. As much as I want to be at the Circa with you, with Mr. Benson, Mr. Metcalf, and all the boys, Derek. I got my own little Circa back here at the office. But with that, Dave, Again, we can always talk for hours. I got to give you the last minute two. The stage is yours. Tell them where to go, where to subscribe, where to find you, and tell them whatever you want.
Sports BK Consig on Twitter for Sportsbook Consigliere. That's the Twitter handle. All the appearances are on there, but like every day, I mean, I do my own podcast called Cash Considerations. You can subscribe on YouTube. I highly recommend you do, because it's just like this. We're having fun, but we're talking about the gambling, we're talking about life, all kinds of stuff. 8 in the Box, that's a Cash Considerations production. Me and Brad Howe, who you should have on this show. I'm going to talk to Brad. You should definitely hook up and talk to him. Another quality dude and another girl dad. Somebody is putting us together, Jeff. I don't know who it is, but man, it's a pleasure, because there's a special place for us. You got to be strong to be a girl dad, and you got to have fun with it. And that's what we do with the sports gambling. I'm on Sports Grid in Sirius XM 204 every day from 4 to 7 Pacific, 7 to 10 Eastern. I'm on the MLB Network, a contributor on the MLB Network, either once or twice a week. They love the Red Sox. I love the Red Sox. I'm trying to get these Red Sox to the World Series, because they told me that if the Red Sox go to the World Series, would you be interested in going to Fenway to talk about the game? I said, let's go Red Sox. So, yes, I want to see the Red Sox get to the World Series selfishly, so I could go stand on the field and wave to JD and say, hey, come on, can I bring my producer? We got to take a picture together. Jeff, hold the bag. Let's go. So, yeah, all that stuff, it's all there, man. And then I don't know what's next. We got a lot of things in the hopper. We'll keep you abreast, because you're right on the button right here at ECSI. And thanks for having me today.
Smiling ear to ear. It's priceless when we have you on. We 53 minutes deep. I want to thank everyone that was watching and listening. If you're not following me, go to Twitter at EC Sports Invest. You can follow me. I'll follow you back. I'll answer any questions that you have via DM. Send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. We're wrapping up our 6th full season of public service on social media. January 1st, 2022 will be the start of our 7th year. Whew. And haven't changed the name. This face, even though I'm getting a little older, it's still the same face. We are the #1 ranked sports investment service, according to Google first page. If you don't believe me, just go to Google search, type in sports investors, and that's us right here. So proud of that, but it's a lot of hard work. As Dave knows, we get up early and we go to bed late, and it's a grind. But we enjoy what we're doing. It's a passion. It's not work. It's only work if you punch it.
That's hard, it, man.
9 to 5 and don't enjoy what you're doing. And myself and Dave, we're just warming up in the back 9. We're just getting started. And the gold rush is here, and we want you to be a part of it. And we just hope everyone is enjoying. We're entertaining. We're also educating. And that's what our job is. And that's what we enjoy to do. So anyone tonight wagering, investing in any of these games, always, always, always wager with your head, not your heart. If you have a problem, pick up the phone. There's a 1-800 number right there. People willing to talk, people willing to help. Why? Because we care. Okay. So from myself and Dave, wish everyone the best of luck tonight. The weekend's almost here. Let's go Red Sox, and hope to see you guys soon.